Hello everyone, this is Chalen Jackson with Senior Marketing Specialists, and as we get into the height of tornado season here in the Midwest and other occasional severe weather events around the country, we wanted to come and talk a little bit about preparedness for your business. Disasters, unfortunately, are a fact of life, and while we hope nothing ever happens to your business, we want to make sure that you're prepared if it does. So today I want to talk about a few different types of disasters that business owners may face and some things we can do to mitigate those. We're going to talk primarily today about natural disasters, criminal disasters, and administrative disasters. And one of the big reasons that we wanted to address this with you is that statistics show that nearly 25% of businesses never reopen after facing a major disaster, and almost 50% go out of business within a year after a disaster. So as people who have already beat the odds by being successful in the insurance business, we want to make sure that you don't become one of those statistics. I'll jump right into natural disasters. And a lot of these are things that we're obviously familiar with, like I already mentioned, tornadoes, hurricanes, other severe weather events that can drastically impact your business. And there are some pretty clear considerations with those types of disasters. Things like securing your files. Do you have digital backups of any paper files that are in your office that could blow away or burn up or be flooded out? Making sure that we have all those things that CMS requires us keep on file, as well as making sure that cherished memories and important plan data is secure for the future. So a lot of things surrounding that data retention, how to make sure you can provide services during a natural disaster, help your clients with claims, being aware of special rules during natural disasters, especially for some of your Medicare clients that are on, say, Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plans. Make sure you know how to help them file claims during a disaster and some of the special provisions that allow them to go maybe outside their network or to a place of most convenience during those disasters. Another thing to consider is what happens if there's a natural disaster in your local area and you're okay. Maybe your business is not affected. We'd really love to talk to you about how can you give back to your community and become a resource. How can you partner with the Red Cross or a local charity to become a place in your community that can provide safety and support during that time of need if you're not affected yourself. So all of these are some great considerations, and we've got a lot of good resources that you'll find on our website and below to help you plan for things like this. But of course, reach out with any questions. Next, I would like to go into criminal disasters. And unfortunately, this is something that we face more and more regularly. Things like ransomware, phishing attacks, various other things, and unfortunately even things like physical theft, employee dishonesty, contractors. So we have to think about some considerations. If an event like this happens, what are our responsibilities? And of course, in our business, one of the biggest concerns is HIPAA. We deal with a lot of sensitive and private data for our clients, and if there ever is a breach or a mishandling of information, unfortunately, we do have to report that. We want to keep everyone as protected as possible. So the biggest thing to do, if you suspect that there has been an incident of some kind, contact your upline immediately, contact your carriers, reach out for advice, work on making sure that your errors and omissions policies and any other business insurance is set up properly to help cover you in the event of a theft or a breach or an incident like this. Make sure you look at things like a cybersecurity policy, things that may cover more than your standard business owners or commercial package policy. Looking at having a good employee handbook and a good system in place to prevent employee dishonesty, theft, things like that. And making sure you have good physical securities in place to prevent anyone not authorized from accessing client files, server rooms, any other data that you want to protect. The last part of this that I want to talk about are what I'm calling administrative disasters. And this is a pretty broad terminology for just business operational things that unfortunately could occur at any time. Some of them could be as simple as getting that famous blue screen of death on your in-house computers and not being able to access data or deal with client appointments, dealing with new hire training, staff leaving or quitting the day before AEP. That's always the horror story that we hear about. And unfortunately, even things like the illness or death of a partner or owner. And there are a lot of things we can do to help prepare for these things. Of course, nothing will be 100% foolproof, but making sure we have things like a written out training program for staff, making sure that you have a good succession and business continuation plan in place in the event of an illness or death of an owner or partner. Making sure that tech support and backups are well established, that you have some kind of IT consultant or person on staff to help with your technology, and just coming up with good contingency plans. A lot of these things are totally preventable, and a lot of them can be mitigated with some good planning and good policies and procedures. And on that note, I think it's worth mentioning, as I've mentioned a little bit already, to go over those policies and procedures. Look at your errors and omissions and other insurance and make sure it's adequate for the type of business you're doing. Errors and omissions by itself excludes a lot of actions that are not errors or omissions. It's not going to protect you against theft. It's not going to protect your business assets against a fire, a flood, a hurricane, or tornado, something like that. So looking at making sure that you have a proper business owner's policy or commercial package policy in place to protect those assets, and making sure that any add-ons like cyber liability or other things like that may be needed. If you're in a state or doing a line of business that requires you to be bonded, making sure you're reviewing all of that regularly to keep up with the most recent requirements, as well as shop for rates, things like that. On the administrative side, making sure you have a good employee handbook, training procedures, a good hiring policy, as well as things like a buy-sell agreement. Maybe you want to prepare for that day when something may happen to you and have the ability to have someone step in and take over your clientele. Lots of different things that we can do to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But I think I want to leave you with this idea that none of this is particularly terrifying. We're here to help. We've got a lot of great resources to assist you in preparing for any type of disaster that may come your way. So never hesitate to reach out to your team at Senior Marketing Specialists, and we'll be happy to help you come up with a plan that is actionable and fits your business needs. Thank you.